Ho, ho, ho! Happy Thursday, everybody. Ang dami nang late na ako kasi dapat usually a few minutes before or not 10 minutes before at least mag 8 o'clock we go live. Pero pagpasensya nyo na, medyo pag minsan meron din kami mga technical issues. But welcome. Everybody watching sa page ni John. And we've got people watching in the community. For those of you on the page, you might want to share this video. Super easy to share this sa mga kakilala ninyo. Anybody who might be interested in freelancing or kahit hindi sila interesado but you think this might be of benefit to them, you go ahead and share this. We're live on YouTube as well. Hello sa inyo. May nag-hello na. Ang dami na actually kanina pa nag-hello. So we're super excited to be live once again with another AMA session para sagutin yung mga pressing questions nyo about specific topics regarding freelancing. Mamaya I'll introduce yung ating mga guests for this evening. But in the meantime, I just want to go really quickly to yung mga comments ninyo muna kasi medyo kanina pa kayo nag-aantay. So na say magandang gabi. Mukhang marami na. Ilan na ba tayo? We've got mga 200 people watching. That's nice. But by all means, please tag people that you know, whether it's in the community or on the page, and once again share the video para mapanood tayo ng mga kakilala ninyo. For this evening, we've got 3 tribe members plus a tribe coach joining us to answer your most pressing questions about a very, very good topic, which is one of the first things that you're gonna be doing pag kayo ay nasa loob ng tribe, which is choosing a market. Okay, and we'll talk about why this is so important. Bakit sometimes it becomes a controversial topic. Pero tingnan natin. We'll try to dig deep into why this is something that's super important sa loob ng tribe and for you guys as well if you're looking into transitioning to freelancing or if you're already a freelancer pero medyo nagsa-struggle kayo to, you know, kadalasan sinasabi they struggle to find a niche or they're struggling to price their services. So this might be the episode to answer yung mga questions na yun. Anyway, I'll go ahead and introduce our guest for this evening. Si Sir Ariel Pagulayan is watching from Mandaluyong. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Sir Ariel. Okay, talagang masugid na taga-subaybay natin si Sir Ariel. Anyway, this evening's guests, introduce them one by one. Siyempre, they're all members of the tribe. Kagaya na sinabi ko, one of them is a coach. Pero we'll start off with one of the tribe members. TL din yata to, or which means she's one of the leaders sa loob ng tribe natin. So social media strategist for 6-figure e-commerce brands. Okay, let's welcome si Nadine Villo. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Nadine,
yes,
are you there?
That's right. Hi. Okay. Hi, Ron. Hi, everyone.
Happy Thursday sa'yo, Nadine. Kamusta ka?
I'm okay. Excited na for the weekend.
Excited na siya, kaya medyo sinasipon siya ng konti. Pero patawarin na natin. Okay lang yan. Alright, next. Ang next guest natin for tonight's AMA ay, let's see. Ang mga notes ko. So she helps coaches, experts, and agencies charge higher and scale their proven offer using funnels and automation. Let's welcome si TL Mavi Cabalag. Hi, TL.
Hello po. Sorry pa.
Magandang gabi. Tagang in the dark si TL. Oh, di ba? Anyway, next guest natin to answer your questions about choosing a market. We have a messenger marketing strategist for female coaches and consultants. We have si Mary Ruth Tolentino. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, good evening, Ron. Good evening, everyone.
Parang umaga pa dyan sa'yo o nasa ibang bansa ka ba?
Thank you sa background.
Okay, thank you, Zoom. Walang sponsorship, of course. And finally, to complete yung mga guests natin or set of guests for this evening to answer questions, one of the coaches sa tribe. And what he does is he does lean business systems consulting. I don't even know what that means. Pagpaliwanag natin sa kanya mamaya. For digital agencies, none other than Harry V. Coach Harry Singh. O, di ba? Natawa si Coach eh.
Evening. Good
Hi,
evening,
Coach.
everyone. Yeah.
Yan,
Ron.
okay.
Nice to be here.
Sweet. So, kompleto tayo for this evening. We've got 4 people. Including me, that's 5. We're gonna try to answer yung mga questions ninyo about choosing a market. But before we go into that, just a quick reminder lang, everybody who's watching, like I said, you can share this live session if you're watching from the page, and we encourage you to share this para mapanood ng mga ibang tao who might be interested in what we're going to be talking about this evening, and also tag people as well kung kaya nyo silang itag, especially in the community. If you guys are watching, make sure to tag people inside so that they know that we're live this evening. All right. Topic for this evening, guys, is choosing a market. Okay? Teka, asan na ba yung mga kodigo ko rito? I'll pull up we have some pre-selected questions. Okay? Pinadalahan na tayo ng ilang mga questions natin, which I'll open right now. Okay, cool. Pero before we start asking, okay? Sorry, ito yung exact na topic natin for this evening is how to start freelancing as a newbie. Pero syempre, in the context of starting out as a newbie sa freelancing, lalo na for those of you who, maybe are just trying their feet dito sa freelancing, ano nga ba yung first few steps? Okay, and for tonight, we've chosen a very specific step, which is yung choosing a market. So yan yung pag-uusapan natin. So just go really quickly back to some of the questions na meron tayo. Pero before doon, gusto ko lang tanongin yung mga guests natin. Guys, really quick question. So total, pinag-uusapan natin choosing a market. How long did it take for each and every one of you to really drill down on the current market that you're serving? Isa-isa lang. Nag-uunahan kayo. Nadine, 2 years sa'yo?
Yes, 2 years.
Pero when did you finally figure out na ito na yon? This is the market that I want to serve?
Okay. Kasi I've always worked with digital marketing agencies before. So, ang daming klaseng client, iba't ibang niche, iba't ibang industry. And then I really find it easier for me na makapag-serve dun sa mga e-commerce businesses. So, yun. And then that's when I decided na, okay, sige, this is what I'm gonna pursue moving forward. When I quit the agency, yun yung ginawa ko.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Cool. So, 2 years, at least para sa'yo, Nadine. Pero ikaw kasi, you had previous freelance experience outside of being in the tribe. Tama ba?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Mamaya balikan natin yan, yung experience mo prior to being in the tribe. Mavi, ikaw, how long did it take for you to kind of decide na, eto na?
6 to 8 months po.
6 to 8 months.
Based on experience din talaga magsasabi kung okay ba ka-work to, okay. Kung hindi, minsan akala mo gusto mo, pagka-work mo na pala.
Did you have to jump from one market to another?
Yes, nag-try din ng iba. Oo, nag-change ng bio tapos pag nakuha, parang hindi pala.
So to date, simula nang nag-freelance work ka or any sort of outsourced work or whatever you wanna call it, to date, ilang market na yung parang trinay mo na pasukin?
Parang 3, tapos bumalik dun sa una. Tapos yung iba, hindi, 4 pala, no? Nag-try pala ako ng iba pa, tapos parang, hindi pala, no? So yun, tapos bumalik lang din sa mga una.
Okay, cool. Sige. Mamaya babalikan din kita ulit. I just wanna go around muna. Ruth, ikaw?
Yes. Ako 9 months.
9 months.
Oo.
So, kagaya ba ni Mavi, you had to like try out different markets?
Yes.
Nakailan ka naman?
4. Yan, 4, 5.
Parang usap-usap kayo 4. Okay, pare-parehas. O sige. Eto na, Coach Harry. Kasi I've known a little bit of context. I know Coach Harry even before sa tribe. And I know you've been dealing with agencies prior na, before pa. Pero it's kind of odd to ask you this question kasi I know you have several markets that you're serving. Diba? Pero sige na, tatanungin ko na rin anyway. To finally get to those markets at least, matagal din ba yung proseso for you?
10 years actually.
Oh, okay.
Took me 10 years before I chose the niche.
Okay, sige. Mamaya ko bubulat-latin kung bakit umabot ng ganong katagal, okay? Pero just going back, so again, just wanna set the tone for everybody. So itong mga freelancers na kasama natin right now who are gonna be answering your questions, it took them a little bit. Okay, some of them 9 months, some of them a full year, 2 years. Coach Harry took 10 years, okay? I think it's very common din naman talaga. It takes a little bit of time for us to kind of, parang waddle our way into a certain market or a segment of the market. Pero kayo yung mga nanonood, you guys can ask questions by the way. Habang ongoing yung session natin. So we're gonna collect some of the questions that you are gonna post dyan sa live comments natin. So hopefully we get some really good questions. Pipili lang tayo ng mga hopefully hindi pa ulit-ulit but we'll try to answer them as much as we can. Okay. So balik tayo. For somebody who's starting out, okay? And this has been a highly debated topic. Gustong-gusto ko pag-usapan talaga to, okay? If you're starting out, and we always say this, lagi siguro naririnig nila to. For somebody who has zero experience, zero portfolios, nothing to show for it, and they wanna try out the freelance world. Bakit sa palagay ninyo, it could be a good way to start by picking a specific market muna? What's the rationale behind? Para sa inyo, I wanna hear your thoughts on this.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Sa akin kasi, ako, di ba, it took me a while, parang 2 years for me. Nandun yung, parang I started overthinking yung mga inaaral ko, di ba, parang I know that we need to be skilled, di ba, ganyan. We want to make sure na binibigay natin lahat para kay client natin, we're doing the right thing. Kasi, di ba, there's always this fear of failure, kaya aral ka ng aral. But tendency is, lahat pinapag-aralan mo and then once you get there, nung nandun ka na sa, on the skill, marami ka mga bagay na inaral mo na hindi mo naman kailangan. So, alam mo yun, you just need to, mag-decide ka lang, what do you want to start, ano ba talaga yung gusto mong unahin. Tapos, pagka alam mo na yun, then you can focus on it para din ma-eliminate mo na rin yung mga ibang bagay, unnecessary stuff na feeling mo kailangan mong aralin pero hindi naman pala.
Okay. So para sa'yo, the main thing kumbaga why you want to focus on the market first is just to avoid having to learn multiple skills na parang hindi mo naman later on talaga magagamit. Parang gano'n ba?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. I often say this kasi I do orientations for new members sa loob ng tribe na the first step in their freelance journey, especially if they're starting out, kagaya ng sinabi ko, no experience at all, is really to choose a market. And may mga nagtatanong sa akin, kung minsan sinasabi nila, pero di ba sayang naman yung number of years that I spent mastering a skill? Di ba it just makes sense that you focus on a skill tapos kasi yun naman talaga yung selling point mo eh. Yun naman yung magbibigay ng results sa client, etc. etc. I have my answers but I want to hear yours. If somebody approaches you, asks you that, tagal ko na tong minaster eh. Di ba? Why don't I start with what I have right now? Bakit sinasabi mo sa akin, instead of going and focusing on that, pick a market? I wanna hear something interesting from you guys. Anong take nyo doon?
Kaya sa akin, like, my idea. Actually, pwede naman. Kung saan siya masaya, bahala sa buhay. but the idea lang is, magkaiba yung meron tayong skill kasi yun yung in-offer natin as opposed to we are offering solving problems and that's where the real value is. We sometimes mistake kasi na being skillful equals premium rates. Pero there's a disconnect kasi it's the positioning in solving bigger problems or more impactful problems in the business of our clients that actually gets us premium rate.
Right.
So,
I love what you said there. Now, don't get me wrong. Baka sa mga nanonood sabihin, grabe naman to si Ron. Lagi yung sinasabi, yung skill, walang. No. Not at all. Pero I'll echo what Coach Harry said. It's all about the positioning of the offer dun sa market or the solution to the problem that you want to focus on. It's not that the skill isn't important kasi kailangan mo pa rin eh. Obviously, pag may kliyente ka na kailangan mong marunong ka mag-Facebook ads, kung yun man yun, marunong ka mag-email marketing, marunong ka mag-SEO, di ba? Importante. It's just that in the context of somebody who's starting out, kasi ito yung laging tanong eh. Gusto ko marinig yung mga sagot nyo. Ito yung laging tanong eh. Paano ko mag-uumpisa? Wala akong kaalam-alam. Di ba? Paano hinahanap ng mga clients sa amin yung magaling na sa ganito, may experience na sa ganito? Tapos sasabihin mo sa akin, kaya ko mag-start as a freelancer? Paano yun? O Ruth, tsaka Mavi, kayo naman, what do you say dun sa mga tao na magsasabi sa inyo ng gano'n?
For me kasi, sa freelancers, kasi dito tayo, nasanay tayo na, yun nga, skill muna. But, yung approach kasi ni Tribe is market first. Why? Because, we aim to be the problem solution fit sa market natin. Parang sa love life, di ba? Hindi ka pwedeng approach ng isang nililigawan mo kung alam mo namang hindi ka naman kailangan. Kumbaga, mahirap kasi yung kahit gaano ka kaganda, kahit gaano ka katalino, kahit gaano ka ka-thoughtful, or kahit gaano ka ka-sweet sa nililigawan mo. But hindi ka naman pala niya kailangan or hindi naman pala siya naghahanap ng boyfriend or girlfriend. It's not gonna work.
Okay. Paki-translate nga yun, Ruth. I get what you're saying pagdating sa love life. Pero translate natin siya sa freelancing, okay? So yung analogy mo of somebody who's looking for someone, etc. I have my own analogies. I'm gonna share them later. Pero gusto ko let's dive deep into what you said right there.
For example, sa freelancing, naghahanap, for example, isa akong social media manager before. And then, I approach those market na mga SaaS. Tapos, I found out na hindi naman pala nila masyadong kailangan yung mga social media manager for SaaS. They need more IT customer service representative. So, So boom, ayun. Sige, lipat ako ng market kasi I have data, I test it, and it doesn't work. So, as a start ng freelancing journey ko, heartbreaking siya kasi yung first market ko, hindi pala ako kailangan. But, yun nga, we have to move forward and we have to test it para hindi lang tayo puro overthinking without data on our hands.
Okay, sige. I like what you said there. Bavi, ikaw muna. What's your take?
Hello, Coach Ron. Actually, feeling ko pag nag-choose talaga muna ng market over skill, sobrang mas madali ang buhay. Sobrang mas mapapabilis yung buhay nila kung market muna. Kasi, tawag dito, pagka market muna, ang tendency, yung utak mo, imbis na kung sa skill nakatutok, edi parang mahihirapan pa yung utak mo. Pero pag sa market, parang alam na agad ng katawan ng utak mo yung gagawin. Sige, ito pala muna yung market na targetin ko, so magsasearch ako. Parang pag may market na, magkakaroon ka instantly agad ng direction. Especially nasa free tribe pa sila, so sobrang andun na rin yung steps na yon. So susundin na lang talaga nila. So para din siyang, kung kunwari, yung lalapitan mo is may sirang gripo. Pag may dalawang lumapit yung isang tubero, sasabihin ng tubero niya, ng isang tubero, sobrang galing ko, ganito ganyan skill ko, kaya kong baluktutin yung tubo. Parang kung ako, sirang-sira na yung gripo ko, anhin ko naman. May lumapit sa aking tropa ko na, alam mo ba, nagkaroon din ng ganyang sira yung gripo ko, tapos ganito ginawa ko. Parang mas makikinig ka dun sa tropa mo na alam yung nangyari sa'yo. Kaysa dun sa basta marunong lang sa magtubero. So parang ganun lang din sa atin. Mas may advantage tayo sa mas skill kung magpo-focus na tayo sa market at kikilalanin sila. Anyway, pwede naman magpalit ng market kung palpak talaga.
Yeah, okay. Well, hindi naman siguro palpak, ano? Not to the extent na magiging palpak tayo. Pero sabi nga ni Ruth kanina, sometimes you have to test with data. Meaning, kailangan may tangible result yung pagsubok mo sa specific market. Kasi gusto ko yung analogy ni Ruth kanina, yung pag naghahanap daw ng boyfriend or girlfriend yung isang babae. 'Di ba? Kasi halimbawa ako, no? Kasi ambisyoso ako eh. Si Coach Harry siguro hindi maka-relate dito kasi hinahabol siya ng mga chicks eh. Pero halimbawa ako, ambisyoso ako nung bata ako. Syempre gusto ko yung mga high class na mga magiging girlfriend ko. So, I have to pick yung specific market na yun, 'di ba? Yung mga medyo tumatambay sa high-end na tambayan, ganun. And if I have that in mind, alam ko kaagad kung saan ako pupunta. 'Di ba? Kasi kung sila yung target ko, hindi ako pupunta sa itong lugar na to na wala sila doon. I think that's one of the advantages. The other thing is, yung sinabi naman ni Mavi na it allows you to focus on the problem that needs to be solved rather than what means you have to deploy to solve it. Kasi marami namang means eh. I don't know if you agree with me, Coach Harry. Yung sirang tubo na yan, hindi lang naman yung pinakamagaling na tubero makakapag-ayos niyan. Tama yung analogy ni Mavi. Meron kang kapitbahay na nasiraan before ng ganyan. So, alam na niya yung anong solution. Baka sabihin pa niya, bumili ka na lang ng bagong gripo kaysa paayos mo dyan sa, papabalok-balok mo pa. No? Diba? Anyway, I don't know if I'm overemphasizing this, but the reason why I asked you those questions is I want to set the tone kasi nga, many people na nakikinig sa atin don't know where to start. And I think it's a good idea for us to lay out yung foundation na this is where you can start if you don't have anything under your belt. Okay? So, may dadagdag pa ba kayo? Any other reason why sa tingin niyo it's a good idea to start with the market in mind rather than developing a skill first? Tapos we'll go quickly into yung main topic natin which is choosing a market. Ano yung mga dapat natin gawin?
Out ako ng konti. So, comparing freelancing to building a business. Dalawa yung mga tao na pumapasok into freelancing. Pero mga tao na iniisip yung freelancing, extra income lang, sideline, gig, racket.
Yep.
And it's a very different approach kasi you're not gonna look at it from the point of sustainability. Kumbaga, pang-dagdag lang siya pang supplement lang siya. Pang-raos lang siya ng kung ano yung kailangan. As opposed to a person who wants to build a business, who wants to have consistent na income that comes from freelancing dahil binuild niya with proper foundations. So, it's the usual divide. People who don't think of freelancing as a sustainable business. Kumbaga more on racket lang, gig lang yan, sideline lang yan. You won't actually want to build it in such a way na position siya for consistency.
Okay.
Choosing a market is actually a sign of wanting to build a sustainable and consistent income generating business. So
okay.
So yeah, from perspective ng bigger businesses or brands, actually they want to dominate. So parang sa lahat ng market, di ba? Example, Coke. So right now meron ako ditong Coke na 1 liter na na bote. Pero meron ding 1.5. Tapos sa commercial dati yung kasalo, yun yung pangpamilya. Tapos for mga construction worker, merong sakto na tag 10 pesos dati, 15 pesos na ngayon. Tapos meron ding mismo dati na 5 piso lang, tapos 2 lagok lang na Coke.
Right,
All of those are actually different. Iisa lang yung product pero catered to different markets. Pero kaya yun ni Coke kasi marami siyang resources. Kaya niyang pagsabay-sabay na i-market yung sarili niya sa lahat. Kasi tama na yung foundation ng business niya. May pera siya, may tao siya, may oras siya, may kaya siyang i-leverage. As freelancers, we usually start solopreneurs. Kung kaya mo pagsabay-sabayin lahat ng market, it's totally fine. Go ahead. But if you want to build something sustainable and maximize your resources, then choosing a market is actually the wisest thing to do.
I love what you said. Medyo may kalaliman pero yung example mo of Coca-Cola doing business and entering many different markets with just one product is probably one of the best examples of a business na they have the market in mind. And yung sinabi mo nga, it's more of kasi long term you're gonna be able to sustain it because you have an audience of people that you want to satisfy yung mga needs nila rather than just focusing on your product. And I think I've always heard yung saying, di ba, na don't work on your product. Kumbaga, don't be obsessed with your product. Be obsessed with the market. Kasi over time, some of the needs ng market may change. Kung sobrang obsessed ka sa product that you're trying to sell, then you're gonna go out of business. Kasi pag ayaw na nila nun, you have no choice but to fold. Anyway, enough about that. I think we've emphasized enough na it's probably a good way, especially for people who are starting from zero. Ngayon, ang next question is, how exactly do I start? Paano ba ako pipili ng market talaga? Ano ba what do I have to consider? What are the steps that I have to take para masabi ko na I'm on track to picking or choosing a market na lalo na ito yung laging tanong profitable ba yung market na yan? Ibig sabihin ba, kikita ba ako pag pinili ko yung market na yan? So, para sa inyo, what would be some of the first things that you need to consider, sabihin na natin criteria, when you're choosing a market?
Second for me. Pero
Pwede.
for me, for me, pinakauna talaga, is it something na kaya kong aralin? Parang, is it something that I'm interested at? I had this client a few months ago. I took it kasi money na di ba? Parang kailangan ko ng money ngayon. So, sige, lumapit na yung work. So, I took it. Pero their business is all about grass. Puro tungkol sa fertilizer. And I have no idea tungkol dun sa fertilizer. It took me just a couple of months working
Akala
with
ko
them.
ibang grass marijuana.
Hindi.
Which is, I'm not, alam ko may ganong market. So, okay.
Yeah,
Bawi ako bigla. Sige na din, go on.
Yun, it took me a while, di ba? Pero alam mo yun, parang alam ko lang na I can only study up to this extent pagdating sa market na to. So, I'm gonna pass on it. Kasi kahit anong intindi ko, kahit ilang beses kong basahin yung iba't ibang klase, kasi sa atin, Carabao grass, Bermuda grass lang. Pero sa ibang bansa, they have a lot of breed ng grass, di ba? Kahit ilang beses ko siyang paulit-ulit basahin, hindi ko talaga makita yung interest. Alam mo yun, parang I think I'm starting to think na I'm just wasting my time. So, ayun, I eventually passed on the project. So, yun, number one that I think everyone should consider is it something na kaya mong aralin? You don't need to be passionate about it. Like, ako mahilig ako sa NBA, so kukunin ko yung sports na niche. I'm gonna choose yung nasa sports na industry. No, it doesn't necessarily mean na you have to be passionate about the market. Ang tanong lang is it something na kaya mong aralin? Kasi you don't want to waste your time dun sa market na hindi naman pala interesting para sa'yo.
Right. So number one para sa'yo, it has to be interesting enough para mag-spend ka ng time na matutunan yung market na yun.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Ruth, ikaw?
Yes. For me, nung nag-start talaga ako based on my previous experience. Kasi before entering the tribe and knowing na dapat choose one market muna, meron akong experience sa SAS nga. So, nung sa SAS na yun, ay sabi ko, sige, push ko muna to, i-test ko muna tong specific market na to. Kapag nagkaroon ng traction, sige, push. Kasi ito na experience ko. Kasi meron na akong mga FB groups na kasama ako doon. So, sabi ko, mariresearch ko na yung mga target market doon. Meron na akong mga resources and all. Pero ayun nga, kahit mag-stick ka doon sa previous experience mo and hindi, like what Nadine said, hindi mo talaga siya maaral talaga. Like what I've said earlier, kasi kailangan nga nila mga technical stuff. I'm not that techy. So, ayun, that's the first step that I did. Previous experience din.
Okay. So since may alam ka na dun sa market na yon, you've been immersed in the market before, that's a huge advantage for you coming in, kumbaga.
Yes, para
Familiarity.
Mm-mm.
Tama, cool. Mavi,
Sa akin, una, kung madali ko bang maaaral yung market. Ibig sabihin, kung madami ba akong malalaman sa kanila, kunwari in 1 week, madami ba akong malalaman kapag nagsaliksik ako tungkol sa kanila. Nagsaliksik.
lalim
Tapos,
Parang sa eskwela.
malalaman ko rin ba kung saan ko sila mahahanap agad. Tapos, hindi rin ba dudugo yung utak ko pagka inintindi ko sobrang business nila. Baka kasi may ibang business na complicated, tapos ang hirap intindihin. Tapos, yung next is, yung in terms of lalapitan na talaga, yung kung may assets na talaga sila. Tapos, proven na rin yung profitability. Ako, talagang alam ko bumibenta na sila. So, ngayon, ayoko talaga nung nagsisimula pa lang o kaya startup pa lang. Hanggat maaari sila validated na nila yung business nila.
Yeah. I want to talk quickly about what you said. 2 points. 2 super important points. Number 1 is, ano yung sabi mo na parang, can I easily understand how their business works? Kasi iba't ibang business model. Especially when we're talking about getting clients, di ba? You need to understand kung paano tumatakbo yung negosyo nila because you're gonna play a part in helping that business. Number 2, you said, I have certain requirements when it comes to assets existing. Ito medyo feeling ko, especially for people who might not be familiar with what we're doing, syempre. Medyo medyo ang tawag doon, mahiwaga yung sinabi mong yun. Ano ba yung assets na yan? Can you really quickly lang, for the 5-year-olds na nanonood sa atin, is in layman's terms, explain to us ano yung ibig mo sabihin doon?
Dun sa kung may assets na sila. So, kasi pag kumag-connect tayo, in case may napili na ring skill, kahit di pa naman kagalingan, syempre meron yung skill na yun, may kaakibat din na kailangan ka sa kanila. Hindi naman pwedeng from the scratch mo talaga gagawin lahat. So, sa simpleng research, makikita mo naman sa mga profile nila, sa website nila, kung sa tingin mo ba nandun yung hinahanap mong sangkap para pag kinuha ka nila bilang part ng business nila, magiging successful na. Magiging mag-fulfill na. Hindi yung ikaw yung gagawa lahat. Kumbaga, may sangkap na sila, ikaw lang magluluto.
Yun, okay. I like what you said there. So kumbaga, kung meron nagpapaturo sa'yo mag-drive at gusto niya maging race car driver, unang tatanungin mo, may kotse ka na ba?
Tama.
Diba? Kasi it just doesn't make sense. Gusto mo maging race car driver, tapos magpapaturo ka pa lang, di pa marunong, wala ka pang kotse. Saan tayo mag-uumpisa? Diba? Punta tayo ng arcade. Doon tayo mag-aaral. Medyo mahirap yon. Anyway, thank you for that, little bit of explanation. Coach, ikaw naman, what are some of the criteria that you consider when choosing a market?
Sa akin, zoom out pa rin ako. Nagsimula talaga ako sa mega niches. Not sure if this is familiar for everyone, pero mega niches are industries in itself. And of course, merong mga trends.
Broad, ibig sabihin, very wide.
Yeah. Ano yung mas profitable, ano yung lumalago ngayon, ano yung mabilis yung growth. Well, since the pandemic, nagkaroon ng maraming pivot in different industries. And yung 6 na most profitable businesses or in business industries right now, in terms of the money or the cash flow that they have, is the finance industry, health, self-help or coaching, the relationship niche, yung tech, and then e-commerce.
Okay.
Ito yung 6 na talagang fast growing yung cash flow nila since the pandemic happened. Therefore,
curious ako, Coach.
Yeah.
Curious ako, what in the markets that you mentioned, wala kang binanggit na logistics or food business.
So usually that falls, if it's a digital thing, then it falls under tech.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So yung pag-develop ng mga apps and web and softwares. So yeah, with those dun sa 6 na yun, mahalaga na makita kasi kung nasan yung growth. Kasi where there is growth, that's where money is.
Okay.
Where money is, they want to keep that money growing. Therefore, sila yung mga industries na mas nag-hire so that yung money can be kept and increase moving forward. At sila na rin yung merong panggastos. Kasi nandun nagpo-flow yung cash ng different kumbaga customer bases.
Right.
So, yeah, doon sa anim na yun, there are sub-niches pa. So
Mhm.
you can search yung sa sub-niches, doon na nagko-fall yung other subcategories of each market. Ayan.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that's my approach naman. Hinahanap ko where the money is.
So you do a lot of parang social listening
Social listening is
or
one, but
uh
basically 3 layers lang naman of research that I do. First is the yung ano lang siya, online research. So it's more on
Mhm.
Google, hanapin mo lang yung trends, search ka sa forums,
Yep.
fora, Reddit, where conversations are happening. That's one thing. You can also
Mhm.
search some social media groups. There are conversations happening there.
Mhm.
Pero mas inline na yun with the second approach, which is a direct approach. That's where kausap mo na talaga yung mismong mga tao dun sa market. You ask
Yep.
them questions, you actually interact with them, you build relationships so that you get the data that you need.
Mhm.
The third layer is my most favorite test kasi tamad ako basically. So what I
Uh-huh.
do is I leverage my network. So the people
Mhm.
who are already immersed in a specific market, before I enter that market, sila na yung tinatanong ko ano yung experience nila about that market. Sila na yung tinatanong ko
Okay.
ng data. I get as much details that I need as possible so that
Mhm.
hindi ko na kailangan gawin yung bulk of the work myself. So, yeah.
Right. Just makes sense. Kasi pag sinabi nila, must be true. 'Di ba? If it comes from the market or from the horse's mouth, sabi nga nila, it must be true. So let's recap lang. Sabi ni Nadine sa kanya, it's um, you consider it should be interesting enough for you to want to learn about the market. Si Ruth sabi niya, it could be something that you're already familiar with. Baka nandun ka na sa market na yun or maybe you know somebody who's in that market. Mavi said two things. Um, yung kailangan may business assets sila. What was the other one, Mavi? Kalimutin ako eh. What's the other one that you said?
Madaling intindihin yung model.
Yeah, yung business model. Right, right. And of course, Coach Harry said a lot of things typical of Coach Harry. Pero, yun nga, doing a lot of monitoring trends, figuring out kung ano yung mga, kumbaga on the uprise na mga markets, basically trying to determine ano yung mga profitable at the moment and which ones are going to continue to be profitable. Meron ako nakitang mga few questions sa chat natin. I'm looking at two of them right now. Pero may mga nagtatanong kasi, yun daw bang customer service, is that considered a market? Yung ano pa ba may sinabi dito? Yeah, but similar to that. So just to really quickly answer that question, customer service or ano ba, Facebook ads or SEO is not a market. Okay, those are some of the skills that you deploy to service the market. But when we talk about markets, these are halimbawa health and beauty or health and wellness, fitness. Meron tayong sinabi ni Coach kanina, certain industries, halimbawa yung logistics, transportation. Meron pa tayo. Ano pa ba mga example ng mga markets natin? We have the dating and relationship markets. We have the business, ang tawag nito, money markets o yung mga financial markets. So those are the markets na tinutukoy natin dito. And now that we've identified some of the criteria that you guys can follow, okay, again, going back in the context of people who don't have any experience at freelancing, yun yung mga pwede nyong umpisahan. Okay? Consider saan yung interest nyo, saan yung familiarity, consider some of the assets na meron yung mga businesses, and check out the trends. Ano ba yung mga on the uprise? Kasi malamang nandiyan yung pera. Okay, lalo na if you want to charge for your services. Okay, next. So you've determined the criteria. How do you go about kumbaga validating if the market that you've chosen is a good one? Yan. Parang may narinig na ako kanina ng konti kay Ruth, di ba? How do you validate? So pumili na ako, ito na. This is the market that I want. Gusto ko yung mga ano tawag nyo? Dog breeders. Ito yung market na gusto kong iserve. Paano ko ngayon ma-verify na this is a good market na pwede to? May kikita ako rito. Anong dapat kong gawin? Ruth, ikaw na mauna. Total, may pinanggit ka kanina eh. That really struck me.
Ayun, so we have to test it kung talagang profitable ba talaga yung market na yan. Like, syempre, we have to do the work. When, like, for example, step one is, syempre, you have to find where your market is. And when you find, like, for example, sa Facebook group, sa social media, sa LinkedIn, andun sila nagkalat. And like what Coach Harry said sa Google. And then, kapag nakita mo sila in a certain group, minsan may makikita ka ng post doon eh. Like for example, coaches, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to ganyan? May makikita ka ng mga hint doon kung anong specific skill yung kailangan nila. And then, so ito pala yung kailangan pa nila ng lead generation or kailangan pala nila ng mga Facebook ads, kailangan pa nila ng mga VA, yan, malalaman mo na doon. And then, so, doon na din papasok yung choosing skills. Pero, since market yung usapan natin, ayun. And then, tsaka mo sila kakausapin. Personally, I add them sa Facebook. Tapos, sa LinkedIn, I connect with them. Sa IG, I follow with them. And then, kahit minsan hindi ka re-replyan or hindi ka i-follow back or hindi ka connect ka lang. And then, kausapin mo, build a relationship, and ask questions.
Pero paano, I want to go back really quick lang, Ruth, doon sa sinabi mo. Kasi sabi mo, you start connecting with people on Facebook, LinkedIn. Paano mo nalalaman na nandun sila in the first place? Nagkalimbawa, pumili na ako ng market. Yun nga, dog breeders. Paano ko alam kung saan ba ako? Sa LinkedIn ba ako? Sa Facebook, sa Instagram ba ako? Sa Friendster ba ako? Diba? Paano mo malalaman?
You have to do the research. Or, diba, we have to search kung saan ba talaga sila tawag dito, sabihin natin nagtutumbok-tumbok. We have to choose your market. Pag meron ka ng specific market, search mo lang. Like for example, kahit yan, kaya niyang gawin yun eh. Punta ka lang sa Facebook, sa search bar doon, tapos makikita mo for pet owners, pet owners, and search mo doon, pet owners. O kaya sa Instagram, hashtags, yan, pwede mo i-search sila. Specific hashtags. Sa LinkedIn din, may hashtags tayo. And meron din tayo sa LinkedIn na, yun din, search bar like Facebook. And makikita din natin.
Okay. So, just do searches, kumbaga, yun ang sinasabi mo.
Yes. And syempre, may mga processes pa rin to validate kung talagang kailangan ba nila ng help mo with the specific market na pinili mo. Meron ka ba talagang maitutulong for them? Right.
Okay, sige. Nadine, ikaw, how do you validate if a market is good?
For me, Google. Hindi kasi, that's how I validate it. Maraming article, especially kapag start and the end of the year, laging may article. Kasi ako I do marketing eh. Tapos, hanapin mo lang parang, what's the gap in the market? Or parang, if, okay, I have an idea that this is my skill, or parang, hanapin mo lang kung ano yung main problem. Ano ba yung parang naging issue dun sa mga business owner on that specific niche. Nasa Google na lahat yun. It doesn't, i-Google mo lang, may gumawa na ng article for sure about it. Especially
are there any specific na din? Sorry, I'm gonna stop you there. Kasi sabi mo, i-Google lang eh. That might be simple for somebody like you. Pero what about me starting out, have no experience dito. Dati akong clerk ako sa opisina, secretary, or I worked in logistics as a warehouse boy or whatever, di ba? Or whatever my job was. It's so easy to say Google natin, pero are there any specific things that you're looking for pag nag-Google ka?
Yeah, lagi kong hinahanap parang what's one thing for example, logistics company. What logistics company can improve in 2021? Or parang what was the biggest marketing error for logistics company? Mga ganon. Those
so yung mga search string na ginagamit mo talaga?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. So you're literally asking Google a question.
Yep, that's right. And then if meron ka naman na, for example, I just want to add on dun sa sinabi ni Ruth earlier, for if meron ka na naman na na-connect sa, let's say, Facebook, na-connect mo sila sa LinkedIn, for example, you were decided na parang, okay, I wanna try. Parang ano lang, medyo ano ka lang, lukewarm, pero this is the market that I wanna pursue. For example, logistics company. And then you try to look for these people. For example, nakita mo sila sa LinkedIn, feeling mo mga business type sila. So you search for them on LinkedIn and then you connect with them. And then you can ask your question, hey, it doesn't necessarily mean na pag nag-connect ka, eto na yung next client ko, ganun. No, it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. Pwede naman mag-connect ka lang. You're just asking a question. Parang pwede ka lang magtanong, paano po kayo bumili ng ano? Paano po kayo nag-rent ng van? It's as simple as that, diba? You can also ask them the same thing like, hey, I saw that you own a logistics company. I read this article. Any specific problem that you encountered for last year?
Yeah.
Mga ganun. So, yeah, you do the research, you do the hard work.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's very useful. Kasi, yun nga, no? Usually, pag nag-google tayo, we don't think to ask the exact question that we want answered. Diba? Which is kind of odd kasi you can actually do that. Lalo na ngayon, pag meron ka mga Google Assistant, diba? Hey, Google, where's the nearest ganito, ganyan? Ginagamit natin yon. Pero to ask a question that might benefit us freelancing-wise, kumbaga, market research-wise, I think that's a very, very smart move. Mavi, may dadagdag ka pa ba doon? How do you validate?
Same na pag-search, pero yung matindi ang search na, yung check, yung sa assets mismo nila makakapagsabi kung okay ba sila. Check mo yung profile nila check mo yung profile nila sa LinkedIn or yung business profile nila sa LinkedIn kung ilan yung employees sa business nila. Then, check mo rin yung website kung okay ba yung website nila. Pero,
so, ikaw, stalker mode ka? Okay, sige.
Oo. Yun. Tapos Facebook din, especially Facebook page nila kung nagra-run ba ng ads, ibig sabihin, ay, may budget. May budget, may pang-ads yun.
Okay. So, pero yung sa'yo kasi, if you've already chosen like a specific segment of the market, kumbaga. Kasi parang ang dating sa akin nung sinabi mo is you've already identified certain individuals or organizations na iso-stock mo na sila. So medyo a little further down the research path na yon. Paano kung mag-uumpisa pa lang talaga like from zero? I pick maybe one or two na parang dinarrow down ko into one or two markets tapos I need to figure out which one of these ang ipupursue ko talaga.
Okay. Same din na search din kay TL na din talaga. Yung number of searches. Hindi siya pwedeng sobrang laki na saturated na siya. Hindi rin naman siya pwedeng sobrang liit na ang hirap niyang hanapin.
Oh, I like what you said there. So, let's expound a little bit on that. Anong klaseng searches tong tinutukoy mo na to na parang kino-consider mo kung saturated yung results or masyadong broad?
Kapag sa LinkedIn, kapag parang nakita mo, napansin mo yung mga profile, ang dami ng ganun, tapos nakita mo yung ibang profile, hindi naman na, paano ba ma-explain yun? Yung parang humbawa sa LinkedIn, nakita mo yung mga profile, nakita mo yung market na to, tapos ito yung mga lumabas na profile, tapos yung may gut feel kang na feeling mo hindi na legitimate yung karamihan ng profile na hindi naman sa hindi legitimate, pero feel mo need pa nila ng ibang help kaysa sa help mo. And then, kung sa Facebook, may mga Facebook group, pag sumali ka, nararamdaman mo saturated na rin talaga, nakaramihan din pala na nandun, is ang problem is budget. So,
okay. So you do, doon napapasok yung you do a little bit of listening dun sa conversations that are happening inside that specific group. Kumbaga, tingin-tingin ka ng mga comments, ano ba pinag-uusapan dito? Chismosa mode. Tama ba? Kanina stalker mode, yung chismosa mode ka naman. Okay. Para makarelate yung kuminsan, di ba? Kailangan nating explain na ganun eh. Coach Harry, ikaw naman, is there any specific activity that you do or steps that you take to validate if a market is, bukod sa sinabi mo kanina, no, I understand part of what you said earlier was that, pero yung medyo mas concrete actions that you take.
Tatanong ako sa mga tao na sineserve na yung market niya.
So kahit potentially competitors mo, kumbaga? Or hindi naman necessarily?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Kahit pareho kami ng service, pareho kami ng skill, I ask them. The idea is, I just prepare something that's in it for them.
Okay.
So, potential collaborations,
or maybe I can send them the same clients if I encounter those clients. Kasi kung nagsisimula pa lang naman ako, hindi naman ako super confident na kaya kong i-serve kagad whoever I get to connect with.
Mhm.
So, I mean, pero sobrang tamad nung mode ko. Like, ginagawa ko lang, nahanap ko yung mga tao na sinaserve na yung market na napipisil ko na kasama sa choices ng gusto kong iserve o pwede kong iserve. And
Mhm.
then, of course, I do connect with the market to get data. Pero mas malaki yung nakukuha ko na data from the people already serving the market. Kasi they have the
Okay.
experience, they have, kumbaga mas immersed na sila doon, naiintindihan nila yung service provider standpoint.
Right.
If you have a community where you can actually connect with people na sinaserve na yung market na yun before you, dumadali. Lalo na kung yung community na yun is something na very generous in the information. Kumbaga, coming sila from a place of help. Yeah, marketing, you know. Pero, like, the way we do it in the tribe is actually very useful sa katamaran ko.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, when I want to enter or test a specific market, like last January lang may bago kong offer tapos tinetest ko. Yeah, I network with some of the people in the tribe and I ask them information and yun. As for validation itself,
Mhm.
if I have a specific offer that I can sell at least 3 times in the next 60 days, it's validated for me.
Oh, okay. I like that. Can you say that
That's
again,
my
Coach?
personal method. So
If you
I
have an offer,
that I can sell at least 3 times in the next 60 days, then validated yung market.
okay. Why 60 days? Is there any reason? Does the speed at which the market, kumbaga, na tinatangkilik nilang offer matters or
Yeah.
wala lang?
We're looking at the buyer's pyramid. So in the buyer's pyramid, 3% of the market is ready to buy the service right now. Basically, they are already aware of their problem and the solution to their problem. They're just looking for the specific na magpo-provide ng solution. So they're looking for the product or the service that will solve the problem. That's 3% of the market, meaning for every 100 connects, tatlo sa kanila ready to buy your service. But that's not counting competition or other options sila and other factors. Pero 80% of the market becomes ready to buy within 60 to 150 days.
I see. Okay.
So doon lang ako sa initial na 60 days, which is
Right.
8 weeks, which is 2 months. And this is also, I think, hindi na napag-usapan Chief John, pero the way he positions follow-up in the tribe is dapat every week for 8 weeks meron kang follow-up. Because that positions us as top of mind doon sa market na yun. Kasi when we connect with them, malaki yung chances, 97% yung chance na hindi pa ready yan to buy. Pero after 60 days, malaking bulk of those you connected to, mas ready na silang bumili. So if ikaw yung nasa isip nila na balikan, you get that you get that that opportunity ng mas pasok ka agad sa banga.
Right. I'll drop the mic for you, Coach. Okay. If you were listening, kung wala kayong nakuhang sobrang valuable information sa sinabi ni Coach Harry, then I don't know what else will help you sa ginagawa ninyo. Pero I just want to reiterate what he said. There are certain considerations when it comes to the buyer's behavior. Yun yung binanggit ni Coach Harry. As far as validating a product, not just a product rather, but a market that you want to serve. So yun, I think that's super. Kung manonood man kayo nito sa replay, pwede yung skip din doon. Maganda yung sinabi ni Coach Harry. Talagang minsan, iba tong tong level ni Coach Harry mag-isip eh. Anyway, funny that you mentioned, Coach, kanina, binanggit mo na rin lang, I'm gonna pause for a little bit here kasi we're running on about an hour now. Mag-usap-usap tayo rito. But funny that you mentioned, yung validation method mo of consulting people who are already in the market. Sabi mo nga, you're part of a community who may be servicing the same market. Pwede mong gamitin and you've already alluded to it. Yung tribe is such a community where people freely contribute data that they've collected from a market that they are already serving to people who want to enter that market. And if by any chance you guys are getting any value dito sa ginagawa namin na to, okay? And you're watching this, whether it's the first time you've been hanging out in the community for a while, Pero if this is helping you out, getting ideas kung paano kayo mag-uumpisa without any experience at all, and if you want to learn more about what the tribe can do to help you pagdating sa ganitong career or ganitong industry, then please comment with the word tribe. Ayan na. Comment with the word tribe for those of you who are interested in learning more about the tribe and how we can help you and how to be part of the tribe. And then we will have our success managers reach out to you. Marami tayong success managers ngayon. I think there's about parang 8, 10 na yata kami. Hindi ko na malaman gaano karami kami. No? But we have quite a few people. But make sure to check your message request folder pag nag-comment kayo ng tribe because you will get a message from one of these people within the next few hours. Sabihin na natin. Okay, we try to get to them as quickly as we can. Pero give us at least 24 hours to respond para mabalikan kayo pag nag-comment kayo ng tribe. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about. So yun yung validation methods ninyo. Okay? Now, although na-touch ng konti ni Coach Harry to, yung testing the offer na kumbaga. Okay? Once you've kind of validated, and I think, by the way, I want to say something about sinabi ni Coach Harry na para sa akin, the only way to really validate market and an offer na rin is you have to make sure that they actually purchase or buy or pay for the service or the product that you're selling. Pag ang sinasabi lang nila is interesado ako dyan, tapos hindi naman sila bibili, lumipas na yung 60 days, yung 100 days, lumipas na yung 2 taon, at palaging sinasabi lang sa'yo is interesado ko, that's probably a sign na, it's either you're in the wrong market or you're offering the wrong solution. Parang gano'n. Anyway, let's go a little further after that. So now that you've chosen a market, what sort of, the next question I guess would be, what amount of data do I need, bukod doon sa sinabi ni Coach Harry, sa pag-test niyo lang, what amount of data do I need para masabi ko na I should stick with this market or I should move on to the next one? Okay, that's the next question. Kasi, di ba, may mga validation methods na kayo. Anong kailangan ko makita para masabi ko na, teka, kalokohan na itong ginagawa ko rito sa market na to. Mukhang hindi ako rito magiging successful. What do I need to see para move on na ako, kumbaga? Anybody can answer. Wala nang sequence yan, no? Kahit sino.
Wala ba?
What do you look for?
Okay. For me, I try to look for, yung parang assets. Pero for me, is it profitable for them? Kasi di ba, there are clients na, for example, yung mga coaches, ganyan. Ako, I want to serve coaches. Tapos nakita ko naman parang si client or parang may mga coaches na some of them, they're just in it for the money or parang wala silang ibang pambayad sa akin. Or parang they don't have any other outlet, parang income, and they don't have any other income generating business to pay for me unless mag-boom talaga yung business niya tapos makakuha siya ng client, doon lang niya ako mababayaran. Then, in those cases, I pass on dun sa mga ganun na clients. So, for me, isa sa qualifier ko is, first, if there's really a gap that I can fix, is there any gap that I can resolve? And then, if I chose, or let's say I decided to resolve that gap, kaya ba akong bayaran ng gantong industry? Or can they pay for my time? Can they pay for my effort? And if nakita ko na yun na parang, okay, sige. And then I'll go ahead and start connecting with these clients and then make an effort na to close a client, make an effort na i-position din yung service ko.
So, yun, number one consideration is, sabi mo nga, what I'm getting from what you said is, are they capable of paying you for the service?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. Anyone else?
Touch ako ng konti sa sinabi ni Nadine. Kasi alam naman natin yan parang premium yung hinahanap natin na clients. So, budget is one of the main considerations talaga dyan. No? We need to know what category of business expense ba napupunta yung skill na ino-offer natin. Is it more on admin type of services, which is general operational expense? O mas sa marketing ba yan nagpo-fall, which is like 20% of their gross budget? Looking at this, kailangan nating i-reverse engineer magkano ba dapat yung kinikita nila in the first place para ma-afford nila yung services na gusto nating i-charge for a specific rate. Kasi example, you're charging 1K for marketing services and 20% yung budget nila for marketing. That's the usual naman. 10 to 20% yung marketing budget ng business. Paano kung yung kinikita, yung 20% na yun, kunyari kinikita nila 10K. So 20%
Kulang na.
naman is 2K. Pasok pa naman yung
Yeah.
1K na gusto mong i-charge. Pero ikaw lang ba yung marketing expense nila?
Right.
So, targeting businesses na merong specific annual income is actually one of the keys. Kailangan tansyado na natin kung ano dapat yung kinikita nila. Kapag ang sagot nila sa'yo sa kinikita nila kapag nag-interact ka with them is hindi ka agad pasok doon, hindi mo na kailangan ipilit.
Kahit na gusto mo silang tulungan, you don't have to lower your fees.
Yeah. So, kung gusto mo silang tulungan, may trade-off na yun. So,
Yeah.
hindi mo pwedeng singilin yung premium fee na gusto mong singilin.
Right. Before I let Mavi and Ruth answer yung tanong ko kanina, I just want to quickly kind of piggyback off what you said there, Coach Harry. Kasi madalas tanong din yan eh. And it falls along the same conversation of which market is profitable. Kasi kaya naman tinatanong kung ano yung profitable market because obviously they want to charge preferably higher fees. Marami kasi tayong nakikinig ng mga freelancers that they are struggling with getting higher payments or higher charging their clients higher. So I think that also answers the question. Tama ba?
Yeah.
Sorry, the reason why you can't charge any higher than what you're currently charging is probably because you're dealing with businesses that just can't afford what you want them to pay you.
Yeah. And that's a flaw in the pre-qualification process of the service provider. Now, here's the thing. Kahit naman industries na hindi trending yung growth, lagi pa rin merong tatlong categories. Laging merong beginner, intermediate, at advanced na businesses in every industry. Like beginner businesses, startups pa lang, di pa ganun ka-profitable. And then there are those na lampas na sa 2-year mark. So sustainable na yung business, maayos naman, looking for scaling. And then there are those enterprises na really established na, 10 years plus in the business and profitable, alam nila lahat ng ginagawa nila and stuff. Now, we're continually talking with those that are starting out, kahit sa ang industry pa yan. Hindi mo may expect na premium kagad yung pwede nilang i-pay for service providers.
Yeah.
So
in that case, do you want to go with volume? Pwede yun, di ba? Pero mahirap.
It's only easy to go with volume if systematic na yung ginagawa mo. Pero kung wala ka pang ideya kung paano, tapos dadamihan mo kaagad, mababaliw ka.
Makes sense. Yeah. And that's what some people are trying to do. Kumbaga, they take on as many clients as they, humanly possibly can. Kasi nga, the rate that they can charge them is so low para umabot dun sa gusto nilang bayad sa kanila. They just have to take on more clients. Yeah, ang problema doon is, yun nga, kung hindi pa systematized yung delivery mo, then it takes so much toll on you as a person, lalo na kung solo provider ka.
Yeah, because I've been there. Like, work 16 hours for 2 full-time clients, 7 weeks lang tinagal ko before bumigay yung katawan ko. So, yeah. Depends on the person. Kaya naman, pero hindi sustainable.
Right. Okay, we're still on the subject of yung choosing a market, and ito na tayo sa third step na tayo, kumbaga, determining whether a market is something you have to, or is a market that you have to let go, you have to move on na. Mavi, kailan ka nagmo-move on?
Siguro magsiset ako ng KPI. So, kunwari, sa 100 na sinandan ko, wala. Hindi ko naman susukuan. Baka yung messaging ko lang yung mali. Tapos kung sample lang yung numbers, pwede naman palit-palitan. Pag naka 4 to 5 na napalit siguro ng messaging, tapos nagpalit na rin ng kung saan mo sila hinahanap, baka doon, doon na ako, so depende nga sa numbers. Depende naman sa tao. Doon na ako pwedeng magpalit.
Right.
Tapos,
really quickly lang, Mavi, kasi baka hindi rin nila nagigets ano yung ibig mo sabihin ng messaging. When do you say messaging, what exactly is that?
Yung sinasabi talaga natin sa kanila pag lumalapit tayo sa kanila. messaging. Tapos in
Okay.
terms of kung nakuha naman as a client, kunwari may nakuha na as a client, so nag-agree sa budget, doon naman magkakatalo sa experience na mismo kung okay ba talaga yung market at kung fit ba. Yung workflow at saka yung workload para sa presyo na na-close sa kanya is willing ba ako ulitin ulit yun para sa ng isang beses pa. Kung hindi
Right.
na, kung parang di naman pala sulit, akala ko premium pero nang lumagpak pala yung gagawin. Parang hindi naman pala. So, baka yun may kailangan. Either pwedeng taasan lang yung premium or baka change market na rin talaga.
Right. In the context of freelancers kasi, we're practically running a business, and as a business, you have to consider overhead din. May gastos ka rin syempre sa kuryente mo, internet, pagkain mo habang nag-work ka, di ba? So you have to consider those things, and you also have to take a look at the profitability of the market that you entered in that sense. I think that's what you're trying to say. Pagka ayaw mo na, or sometimes it's just a matter of, mas gusto ko na mas malaking kita. Yun lang talaga. Diba? There's no arbitrary consideration other than gusto ko ng mas malaki pang kita. That's it. Ruth, ikaw?
Actually, parehas lang nung kay Mavi. Sorry Pero kasi, that's what I did. Kaya ako na-validate na hindi pala para sa akin yung SaaS market. And I, two different markets again to test it. So, parang na-identify ko in connecting or, kasi meron akong sheet, Google Sheet. Connects ko na ganyan. Ilan ba yung nag-accept, ilan ba yung sumasagot sa akin. Parang pala, yung problem, I could have said earlier, hindi kayang i-in yung gap na kailangan. So, kaya yun, move on na ako.
I see. So it's more, ang consideration mo naman is, am I gonna be of use to this industry?
Yes, kasi hindi ka nila babayaran kung hindi ka naman nila kailangan.
I see, okay. Tama, exactly. Maaaring bayaran ka nila in the first place, pero hindi na uulit yan.
Oo.
Diba?
Hindi
Oo. Sabihin nila, ay teka, hindi mo naman na-deliver yung gusto namin, so babaan natin yung, or sasabihin nila, well, we have just have no use for you. That's it. Diba? Okay. Teka, I'll just go really quickly to the comments kasi may mga tanong dito eh. Maybe we can answer some of them. Kay Rochelle Antoinette, medyo kanina pa tong question niya, but from someone who is from the BPO, what's the best way to start freelancing? What specific skill? Rochelle, sana nakikinig ka. We're not even talking about skills here. What specific skill do I have to possess to serve a market? Siguro, okay, ababawiin ko yun. We're not talking skills per se when it comes to Facebook ads or SEO or whatever. But for me, siguro the skill that you have to possess is you have to have problem-solving skills. For me, the other thing is you need to be able to identify gaps, kagaya na sinabi ni Nadine. Gaps in a business, siguro, more specifically. The next one I would say would be the skills of identifying yung mga business assets, kagaya ng sinabi ni Mavi. Okay? Now, that might be a little bit vague sa marami sa inyo kasi ano yung sinasabi nitong gap? Ano yung sinasabi niya mga assets na yan? Okay? But those are some of the things na tinuturo natin sa loob ng tribe. Okay? How to identify yung mga gaps in the business, how to position yourself in that market para makita kanila as a perfect solution for their problem, paano ma-identify yung assets that you need para masabi mo na this is the market that I want to go with. So again, if you're interested to learn kung paano ginagawa namin yon sa loob ng tribe, you still have time to comment. Actually, kahit naman sa replay, pwede pa kayo mag-comment eh. So just comment with the word tribe once again, and we will have yan. Yung iba, sila Neil, Roxy, Chris, I think we have Gisela are already reaching out. Nika, si Avi is there as well. Jack. Those are the people that are going to be reaching out to you if you comment tribe para malaman natin if your situation is fit para kayo nasa loob ng tribe right now. Anyway, nasa na ba tayo? So we've determined criteria for choosing a market. We've also talked about some of the validation methods na meron kayo. Ano pa yung kasunod natin pinag-usapan? Just now, talagang tumatanda na ako. What are your telltale signs para lumipat na o iwanan na tong market na to? Meron pa ba tayong pag-uusapan after that? how do you best serve the market na pagka napili nyo na siya? Kasi that's the next question eh. O ito na. I've decided that this is the market that I want to serve. I've proven that this is profitable. Mukhang yung offer ko is a fit for them. I'm able to solve a problem. I'm gonna be paid. How do you then, kumbaga long term, take care of that market na? Yan. Paano ka ngayon, kumbaga, you found the one. Now, pakakasalan mo na siya, kumbaga. And how do you go about doing that?
Effort. Charot. Hindi, mag-effort ka.
Effort, landingan ng F-lane.
Yes, landingan ng F-lane.
Okay.
Hindi, mag-effort ka. Parang, alam mo yun, parang kahit gano'ng katagal mo na sinuserve yung market, there's still new things na hindi ka aware, there's still new updates na kailangan mong aralin, di ba? And if you really want to serve that market well, kailangan mo mag-aral, paulit-ulit ka mag-aral. If you have a skill that you want to offer, kailangan mo maging updated. For my case, I've set up Google Alert. Ang sabi mo nerd, pero I have Google Alert dun sa keyword na hinahanap ko. And then every day I check kung may interesting ba na article about dun sa Google Alert ko. And then I read it every day. So kailangan mo talaga mag-put in ng effort. If you are a newbie naman, since we're catering din dun sa newbie, kung nakapag-choose ka na ng market na, eto na yung gusto kong i-serve. And then the question is, paano ko nagagawin to? Kasi I don't have the skill. And then you look for people naman. You look for other people who's offering the same skill. Ako nag-aral pa ako before.
Teka, Nadine. Sorry, I'm gonna stop you right there. Kasi I keep hearing the word skill from you. Okay? Siguro for the benefit of our listeners and our watchers, we may kind of substitute the word solution rather than the word skill. Kasi I'm afraid na we might put out the wrong message din sa kanila na, kala ko ba hindi necessary yung skill? Kasi nga bago ako di ba? So what we're trying to develop, sorry Nadine, I'll just kind of cut you there ng konti. So what we're trying to essentially develop over time is we're making sure that the solution that we're providing to the market's problem is still relevant to them. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of skill you use to deploy that solution. Di ba? Para magbago man yung, this year, ang kailangan ng market ko is SEO. Pero 5 years from now, karamihan sa kanila, okay na yung SEO nila. Kailangan naman nila ng, they want somebody to develop their sales process. O yung closing naman nila yung kailangan tulungan. So, that's it. That's my point na parang, let's not get caught up in, in a very specific solution. But rather, let's continue to develop our offer to the market such that it continues to solve whether it's an ongoing problem or new problems that arise. Okay? I like what si Coach Mark Allen, which is my coach sa loob ng Tribe. I like this approach that he takes where he always positions himself as the next solution to the next problem. So, pa rin siya, he's so focused on the market na parang, sige, I figured out that this is your problem right now. While we're solving that, I know that there's another problem that will arise and I'm gonna be the next best solution na naman for that problem. Therefore, he's not stuck developing a skill. He's developing solutions constantly for the market that he serves. And I really like that approach. Kasi that means you stay relevant to the market long term. Diba? Kahit na 20 years from now, nagbago na yung mga problema nila, if you're on top of providing solutions for them, relevant ka pa rin. Ikaw pa rin ang go-to person nila, kumbaga. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, Nadine. Go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It totally makes sense. Actually, thank you for clarifying that. Kasi, yun nga, di ba? Parang what we're offering is really solutions. What I'm trying to add is, di ba, common problem is if you are a newbie, you don't know how to solve a problem. Diba? You know the problem, you were able to find out what the gap is, pero you really have no idea how to solve it. So if you don't know how to solve it, you look for people who can help you understand. Look for people who can help you, who can help guide you. Pwede din naman na you can offer, pwede kang pumasok ng, sige, I'm willing to, gusto kasing matutunan kung paano sinosolve yung ganitong problem eh. Siguro I can spend 2 hours of my time kahit unpaid internship para lang matuto ako. That's okay. You can also pay for a mentor. That's totally fine. Basta, for me, you identify where the gap is, you try to solve that problem, and then if you really have no idea how to do it, look for people who can help you.
Right. I think that's you hit it right on the head. Yung look for people. But that's only one part of it, diba? You can use as many resources that are available to you. Balik tayo dun sa question. Ikaw, Ruth, now that you've chosen the market, how do you go about ensuring na itong napili mong market is kumbaga you're able to serve them well?
Jam-pack na yung sinabi ni Nadine. Pero yeah, we have to be problem solution fit sa chosen market natin. So ito na, get na tayo. Personally, nakakapagbigay ako ng results doon sa specific market na yon. Kasi ako before, when I was starting, I did business or yung breakthrough case studies for free. I'm not saying na dapat free lagi. Pwede naman 50%. Pero kasi talagang totally wala akong naiintindihan sa nangyayari before because my background is I'm a registered nurse and walang social media and digital. So, I took PCS and from there, learning doing talaga. And habang ginagawa ko siya, nalalaman ko din yung process, ano pa yung mga kailangan ng specific market ko na yun. So, doon siya nag-start.
Yeah. By the way, for the benefit of everybody watching na baka no idea what Ruth is saying, yung BCS, it stands for Breakthrough Case Study. Siguro in real world, mas familiar yung mga tao sa term na internship, yung kagaya ng sinabi ni Nadine, where you actually take on a role without pay, na ang kapalit is benefit of learning, kumbaga yung role na yon. In cases din ng mga freelancers, you get an additional bonus pagka you do a good job and parang binigyan ka ng testimonial, kumbaga, nung pinagtrabahuhan mo for an internship. Pero essentially, that's what it is. You learn on the job without the risk of, kumbaga, without increasing the friction between you and the business owner kasi hindi ka naman magpapabayad. Kumbaga, libre. Kapalit lang doon matututunan mo siya. Yun nga. Nasa na ka tayo? Mavi, ikaw na. Mavi, how do you go about taking care of your clients, your market rather, that you've chosen?
Taking care, main thing is communication. Projects won't be perfect naman kasi unang salta mo, papalpak siya. Minsan nga wala pang resulta. But you will notice clients will simply like you because of the way you communicate to them. And then, yun nga, minsan papalpak naman talaga yung unang Pero pag nakapag-communicate ka ng ayos sa client will choose you over and over again. And yung mga client naman, hindi naman sila actually yung parang mga boss sa typical na toxic corporate world. Parang business partner talaga sila. So kung ano yung...
Kala ko sasabihin mo mas malala pa sila dun.
hindi sobrang anlayo. So sabihin lang, talagang maging open communication lang sa kanila. And kung may mga hindi ka mag-work, huwag naman sila iwan. Kasi good communication equals good relationship, tapos equals to good referral, equals easy money.
Diba?
Pag may good referral.
Parang lang yan, parang mag-boyfriend lang. Kailangan nagko-communicate, di ba, Mavi?
Oo nga, mas trip mo yung jowa ang kasama mo pag malungkot ka kaysa nung sinamaan ka lang nung masaya ka, di ba?
Boom! Di ba? Mic drop. Okay. Coach, by the way, sorry Coach, before you give your answer, meron kasi tayong mga questions pa rito. Gusto ko yung mga questions kasi na pumapasok dito sa page. Sabi ni Oscar Villacorta, for a newbie, can we already target an established company and ask for a premium rate or start first with a startup or intermediate companies for a much lower rate? May sagot kayo dyan? I think you can do both or either or whatever you want. It really is up to you, di ba? Yun ang kagandahan nito eh. Wala namang magsasabi sa inyo kung anong gusto nyo gawin. Pero, having said that, I just want to say that we have people in the tribe who have gone to serve well-established industries or companies na nakapag-charge sila even if they didn't have any or that much experience. Okay, it's a matter of positioning the offer such that you're seen as an expert dun sa market na yun. Pero that's my answer to the question. It's up to you, Oscar, kung anong gusto mo. You can start slow and low, or you can start with the big ones. And if you know how to position your offer, you might be able to charge whatever it is that you want. Any other answers? There's a question here.
Ako, for me, may risk siya eh.
Sige, go.
Ay, sorry, coach.
Go,
Sa akin,
go.
parang you just have to be, prepared din talaga dun sa risk. Like, if you want to go for a well-established company, they know specifically what they want. They know specifically what they need, diba? And if it's something that you can provide, then go ahead, do it, diba? Kung kaya mo naman, diba? So push. If you're looking for a startup company naman, if it's easy to grow with them. If you really want to grow with the business, ganyan, gusto mo talagang mag-establish ng long-term relationship, then yeah, go for a startup company. Pero you also need to know na usually for startup company, yan yung medyo shaky pa yung business. Usually they're on the testing phase. Is it something that you're up for? Kaya mo ba yung mga gano'n na parang, parang logout ka na, tapos parang offline na ako, pero 12 midnight, may problema, ganito, ganyan. Is it something that you're ready? So
yung
yun.
Birth pains, kumbaga, ng isang business.
Exactly. It's totally up to you kung hanggang saan yung threshold.
Hingian mo ng shares.
Yeah, that's also
diba?
True. Diba? Yes.
If you were there from the beginning, stockholder ako, shareholder ako, kasi I'm gonna help you skyrocket your business, ika nga. O, diba?
Exactly.
Coach, ikaw?
Yeah.
Pero lang pag nag-fail. Kasi wala rin value yung shares.
Meron naman yung racket pag minsan bumabagsak so okay lang.
Yeah. Well, sa akin, pa rin. So, Oscar, depende sa kung yung problemang sinusolve mo is premium problem din. So, like, it's really not about... I can as easily, parang, kung i-convert ko yung, or i-revise ko yung title, choosing a market, I can as easily say choosing your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi it's just, kaya lang tayo pumipili ng market para ma-narrow down yung problems sa sinsolve natin. Kasi hindi mo kayang isolve lahat ng problema kung sabay-sabay lahat ng market.
Yep.
So the idea is your value is based on the problems that you solve, not really who you are serving.
Mm-hmm.
Pero we're choosing markets para dumali yung pagpili ng problem na we want to resolve over and over and over again. So, who's your problem? Ano yung gusto mong problemahin araw-araw with the people that you are serving? If willing ka to do that and you're capable to deliver, and yung problem is a premium problem, then go ahead. Targetin mo kung sino may premium problem.
Love it. Mavi, Ruth, meron ba kayong dagdag doon?
Wala na.
Ay, nakamute ka yata.
Finish na eh. Finish na ni Coach Harry.
Ni-wrap up na niya eh. Sabi ko nga, ano na ba to? Wrap up na?
So you have nothing to add on. Mukhang satisfied na sa sagot ni Coach Harry. I have another question here. Si Julie Rod sa page din siya. In the context of your offer, what's your take on the saying na customers tend to abuse discounts but not freebies? I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, Julie. In the context of the offer, customers tend to abuse discounts but not freebies. I think she's talking about yung mga super specific discount offers or something na. So we might just skip that kasi medyo malayo dun sa pinag-uusapan natin. Dito naman sa kabila, Rick Lacorte, mahilig sila sa in the perspective of, in the context of. Sige, para sa newbie daw, no experience at all, is it advisable to create immediately an offer statement after you choose your market, even without any idea how you can deliver the solution to their challenges? Ay, gusto ko tong tanong na to.
Yes.
Paano nga naman? Pinasok ko tong market na to, hindi ko talaga alam kung paano pa susolusyonan yung problema. Is it advisable for me to craft an offer na parang this is what I'm gonna do to solve your problem? Okay ba yun? Mavi?
Oo. Okay.
Why is it okay? Hindi ba parang panloloko yun?
Na?
Na parang, ako, may solusyon ako sa problema mo. When in fact, wala ka naman pa talagang alam-alam. Pero, you're just saying, oh, I have this, I'm gonna offer you a solution to your problem.
Manloloko siya kung pumayag na tapos hindi mo naman na-deliver.
Okay. Expound. Paano kung, yun nga, good intentions. You want to help and all of that. So, pumasok ka sa market, nag-offer ka, may kumagat. Not knowing na bago ka or maybe they know that you're new pero at least alam nila na you're really kumbaga gonna provide or hell-bent on providing a solution. Pero alam ko yung pinanggagalingan ni Rick eh. Yung fear na parang, teka, shucks, should I even do this in the first place? Kasi wala naman akong kaalam-alam eh. Tapos I'm gonna make an offer. Yun yung pinanggagalingan eh. I think it has more to do with nakakahiya naman paano pag nalaman nila wala talaga akong alam dito. 'Di ba? Paano yun? O baka may magical sagot kayo dyan. Nadine, coach, baka meron ka.
Yeah. So there are layers to this. There are really layers to this that people don't actually consider when it comes to their thought processes. Hindi naman kasi automatic na when you put there, I help blank target market reach blank results through blank skill. Ibig sabihin, expert kayo. It's a sincere thing na gusto mo silang tulungan, that's one. And pangalawa, nasa process ka of helping them. Wala namang nagsabi o nangako na sa kada makakausap mo, sureball yung tulong na magagawa mo. It's just that sinasabi mo yung direction of what you're doing as a service provider. You're helping that market achieve this specific result through your specific. There are really no promises to that. The idea is, iniisip natin ng sobrang advance. Na na-close mo na yung client, pero iniisip ko rin doon na para ma-close mo siya, kailangan mo i-present yung sarili mo as something that you are not. But that's a presumption. Walang in any way kasama sa instruction na kailangan mong manloko o sabihin mong expert ka kung hindi ka expert.
Right.
So, if sinabi mo lahat at naging honest ka, na-qualify mo ng maayos yung assets niya and tingin mo kaya mo pa rin siyang tulungan and okay naman sa kanya na magpatulong sa'yo, then you're all good. Pero magkaiba kasi yung tipong iniisip natin na dadaanin lang natin sa positioning tapos sa fake na authority at credibility tapos position natin yung sarili natin as experts kahit di naman talaga. Doon nagkakaroon ng disconnect. Kasi niloko na natin yung sarili natin in the first place. Tapos nagta-translate lang yun sa communication that we're doing with our clients. So it's not actually I don't think na it's actually panloloko sa iba. Kasi first and foremost, overflow na lang yun ng panloloko sa sarili.
May nag-comment tuloy, sabi ni Adrian, parang fake it till you make it, pero dapat you will walk the talk. Tama po ba? Well, Adrian, if you got what Coach Harry just said, putting that statement, that offer in front of a market doesn't necessarily mean that you are an expert right away. Parang ganun. It just means that your intention is to help that market. Kumbaga, that's where it falls in. Kumbaga, yung intention mo. Now, sabi nga ni Coach, are you always able to solve the problems of the market? Probably not. Kasi kahit na ba same market yan, same industry, sometimes there are factors unseen that may cause the campaign to fail. Diba? Hindi natin alam. Pero the factor, parang ganito yan, parang yung mga doktor. Hindi naman lahat ng inoperahan ng doktor successful. Expert na yun Kasi there are other factors to be considered. Hindi lahat ng kinonstruct ng engineer sobrang tibay. Kasi again, there are other factors to consider. Pero they're still positioning themselves as someone who helps with constructing yung mga ganito or helping sick people na may ganitong klase ng sakit. Pero yun nga, wala namang perfect profession. Walang perfect career is what Coach Harry is saying. So, ayun, mukhang nakuha niyo yung sinabi ko. Anyway, Rick, I hope,
parang the idea there is the mindset na parang if you place unrealistic expectations on yourself, doon sa nagiging mabigat.
Right.
Kasi the full control is nasa atin pa rin. kapag in-assess natin yung assets, kapag in-assess natin yung client, tas hindi talaga pasok, walang nagpa-pressure sa atin na kailangan natin kunin yun.
And you're the one responsible for saying yes or no. Yes.
Yeah.
Diba?
Tayo yung decision maker. Hindi natin kailangan mangako ng hindi natin kayang tuparin.
And on the flip side, I want to say, sometimes kasi binanggit mo, it's a mindset thing. On the flip side, kung minsan, tayo lang naman nag-overthink nung failure na yun. Baka si business owner, expected niya na baka, unang beses natin gagawin, mag-fail tayo, okay lang, walang problema. Diba? So, two sides of the coin that you want to play with. Anyway, mukhang marami nang nagtatanong. I would really love for this conversation to go on and on kahit siguro magdamag tayo rito. Baka ako lang, baka ayaw na nila. Pero pero we can't, unfortunately. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Baka invite natin ulit itong mga guests natin. Dagdagan pa natin ng iba pa na mga experts when it comes to market choosing. Anyway, siguro to conclude lang, to kind of wrap up everything. Okay. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share, lalo na sa mga viewers natin? Ang dami kasi natin viewers, I'm assuming na talagang they're kind of testing the waters pagdating sa freelancing. Malamang marami dyan, it's either nasa corporate, nasa ibang klase ng trabaho. In the context of choosing a market and starting your freelance journey, what would be your parting words, kumbaga? Parang bakit parting words? Your final thoughts lang this evening dito sa ating usapan.
For me, pili ka lang. Parang don't overthink it. Pili ka lang ng market and then do the work. Parang, alam mo yun, you just need to dip your toes into the water. Kailangan mo lang simulan and then you'll eventually get there. Kasi the more time you spend thinking about it, the more time you spend the more time you spend on it, mas marami ka pang questions na itatanong sa sarili mo. So, para hindi ka na mag-overthink, pili ka lang and then you move on from there. Yan.
Cool. Thank you, Nadine. Ruth, ikaw, final thoughts?
Yung final thoughts ko galing sa tribe. So, i-share ko lang sa kanila na sabi nga ni JTL, there's a big difference between being clear on which market to choose versus not knowing the outcome of choosing that market will bring.
Cool. Parang sabi rin ni John yun, it's one thing to be clear, it's another to be certain.
Yes.
And sa mundo, walang certainty. So you can only get clarity, kumbaga. Kasi you never know what will happen in the future. Salamat, Ruth, for reminding us. Mavi?
Kahit ko lang sana sa question kanina, yung parang kung di maka-deliver, yung parang feel na, baka mataba akong scammer. Eh di, para alam mo sa sarili mong di ka scammer, wag mo nang galawin yung binayad sa'yo. Pwede mo namang offeran ng refund? Kung may ganong malalang fear lang.
Paano kung pinambili ko na ng iPhone 12? Diba?
Kung may sobrang malalang fear lang na baka maaling scammer. Then yung pag-choose ng market, ayun, parang super advantageous na yun na mamili ng market kasi pag nagsimula na doon, tuloy-tuloy na yung steps. Hindi ka na ano ang next gagawin. Parang yun na yung pinaka-first step.
Right. Okay, and your final thoughts na rin, Mavi?
Ayun na, yung pag-choose ng market, kung tutuusin, papadaliin na niya yung proseso ng sobra.
Cool, alright. Thank you. Coach, wrap up.
Yeah, planning this to be a bit harsh. Two things. Basically, yung hindi pagpili is actually a sign of insecurity. Wanting everything to be perfect, wanting that choice to be right is actually one of the biggest failures na kagad in the first place. So parang hindi ka pa nagsisimula dahil gusto mong maging tama, nag-fail ka na kagad. That's something na people don't usually realize. But yeah, it's detrimental to growth, even in the growth of freelancing. So you just have to. Pero on the same on the same note, okay lang kahit hindi ka pumili ng market. Pero hindi ka pwede magreklamo if yung results na gusto mo is hindi mo na-achieve.
if you're still overworked pero underpaid, if you're still getting clients na hindi ideal para sa'yo, if you still can't choose the lifestyle to live because the freelancing that you do does not sustain that lifestyle. So this is the first step that the premium freelancers inside the tribe is choosing to do, and it has worked for hundreds of people right now. So there's data that backs it up. If you don't choose a market, that's a sign of insecurity, wanting everything to be perfect kagad from the start. Pero if ever you don't choose a market, yeah, sana you don't complain about the current situation.
Right. So the choices that you make will only be right or wrong depending on where you want to be.
Yeah.
Nasa sa inyo pa rin. You have the power to choose. Sabay ganun, ano? Right, I love that. I love everything that you guys shared. Mukhang marami tayong mga value bombs, sabi nga nila, that have been dropped this evening, and I appreciate all of you for being present this evening and guesting and answering the questions. Everybody else, ng mga nanonood, we thank you guys for watching. I hope na marami rin kayong nakuha, 'di ba, ng mga things that you can take action on. Kahit mamaya siguro if you want to test out some of the things that they recommended, mag-Google na kayo dyan, mag-tingin kayo ng mga forum, whatever, no? But yeah, if you want to start on this journey, choose a market that you want to serve and go from there. Quick reminder lang. So next week, we're gonna have another live interview sa Monday, 8 p.m. ulit yan. We're gonna be broadcasting from the page and the community once again, or from YouTube if you guys you prefer watching on YouTube. Nandoon din tayo. But yeah, please let everybody know kung may mga kilala kayo who you think might benefit from the things that we are talking about dito sa mga ganitong klase ng interviews. Please let them know. Thank you, Coach Harry, Nadine, Ruth, Mavi. It's been a pleasure having this back and forth conversation with you guys. And thank you din kay Direk for always helping out. Special mention si Direk kasi siya talaga yung glue that holds everything together dito. Diba? So, thank you, Direk, for what you do. And yun lang. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye!
Bye!